Everyone wants a Saturday wedding, and everyone expects a Saturday wedding. But what if you're looking at another day? Either because you want to or you have to, given availability. Today we're talking about the non-Saturday wedding, why you'd consider it, and what you need to keep in mind when planning one. Hi there, I'm Jamie Chang, your destination wedding planning guru and designer of joy at Mango Bees Events, the creator of Passport to Joy, the step-by-step online wedding planning course for couples, and the founder of Let's I Do This, intimate and virtual and micro weddings in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I share real and honest and useful wedding planning tips, tricks, and advice you can use to help make planning your wedding easier and more joyful, so you can create a wedding you love. Because let's face it, wedding planning can be hard, super stressful, and sometimes downright painful, and nobody wants that. So we're bringing the joy back to wedding planning. Are you ready? Okay, so let's do this. Now, today we are talking about the non-Saturday wedding. Because even though Saturdays are the most desired day to have a wedding, it's not your only option. But here's the real question. Why would you consider a non-Saturday wedding? So, the biggest reason, and it's a big reason and a really crucial one too, is that it can be way more cost effective. Having a non-Saturday wedding is any day, honestly, that isn't a Saturday, is just less in demand. And those less in demand days can just cost less. We could be talking about Fridays, we could be talking about Sundays, but obviously, of course, also Monday through Thursday is definitely going to cost less. And when I say cost less, what I really am talking about here are your venue fees. That's where choosing a non-Saturday day can really just save you a ton of money. But, it's not just your venue that can be a cost savings for you by choosing a non-Saturday day. In some cases, your vendors as well, will have lower rates for a weekday wedding, which means you can have basically the exact same wedding on a different day, but just for less. And the only difference is that you've chosen a different day of the week. So if you're trying to save money, which, let's face it, we're all kind of trying to save money when it comes to your wedding, right? It's just a really good way. It's a good way to save some money by choosing a non-Saturday day without having to really give anything else up. But it's not just cost effective. It's also different. How often could a guest say that they attended a non-Saturday wedding? For some, the answer would be never. Never. I've never attended a non-Saturday wedding. But having that non-traditional day also means you have, the opportunity to do things a little bit different. You could have maybe an all-day wedding where you start with a ceremony in the morning, maybe you take a break, and then you have the reception at night. You could have perhaps a private ceremony with just a few people in the afternoon that's really intimate, and then have a big reception with everybody once everyone gets off work. You could also do a daytime wedding, whether that's serving brunch or tea and then having some fun, non-dancing type activities. Really, you can have a lot of fun with this sort of non-traditional day, and there are just all kinds of ideas that you could play with. But you might be thinking, well, do I have to do something different? And the answer's definitely not. You don't have to do something different just because you have a different day, but you can. And as I said before, you can have the exact same wedding you would have had on a Saturday on a non-Saturday, whether that's a Friday or a Sunday or a Monday. Now, having a non-Saturday wedding, really works particularly well if you're having a destination wedding, where guests are kind of all coming in and maybe staying for at least a few days or even a week. Because in this case, it doesn't matter what day of the week your wedding is, because they're all going to be there for a chunk of time. This also works really well for, smaller, more intimate weddings as well. Since you don't have, a large guest count, getting everyone to attend or having everyone be able to attend a non-Saturday wedding is just, more doable. But okay, now you might be thinking, okay, but what if I'm not having a destination wedding? And what if I'm not having a small wedding? What if I'm having just kind of a normal hometown wedding? Maybe it's 100 people or 150 or 200 or more. Does it still work? The answer is definitely. It definitely still works. But there are a few things you're going to want to keep in mind as you're planning, okay? And the first is really timing. Now, if you're having a weekday wedding, it's just important to remember that your guests are likely coming from work. So if you want them to attend, you're going to want to schedule your wedding a little later in the day, just to allow them enough time to get there. Now, if your wedding is, say, Monday through Thursday, you'll also not want to make your wedding go too late into the evening so that, they can all get home and go to work the next day. This is kind of why Fridays can be a really good option, because you can keep the party going because the next day is Saturday and no one has to go home immediately. And, it's kind of fun, right? To end the week with a wedding and just let loose, have fun, party. Fridays can be a really good option for this. Now, if you're having a Sunday wedding, you also don't want to end this too late as well, for the same reasons. People need to get to work the next day. But the bonus thing about a Sunday wedding is you can start earlier. So that can all kind of work out too in the end. So as I'm sure you're probably starting to guess here, Fridays and Sundays are the second most popular behind Saturdays, purely for these timing reasons. But, if you're doing something non-traditional, Monday through Thursday, or even something not non-traditional, Monday through Thursday can really work well too. It just kind of depends on what you have planned or what you want to do. Okay, now the second thing outside of timing that you're going to want to keep in mind is traffic. Now, traffic is obviously different on a weekday versus a weekend. And so depending on kind of where your venue is, where your guests are coming from, you'll need to take into account that traffic with your timing. This is also going to play a factor if you're using shuttles to shuttle people, and also for yourself. If you're coming from somewhere, you're getting ready in one place, your venue's in another place, you're going to want to take that into account too in terms of your schedule, because traffic can really put a damper on everything and make everything late, right? And nobody wants that. So you're going to want to make sure you plan for that. Now, the third thing you're going to want to plan for or keep in mind is guest attendance. So, there's a higher chance that a guest will RSVP no to a non-Saturday wedding. And, it's just kind of the way it is, and you need to be prepared for that. They might have kids they can't leave, or maybe they have something that they do weekly on a Sunday or a Monday or a Thursday. So, this is something to just keep in mind in terms of what that response that you'll get back could be. This could also potentially be a good thing though. If you're looking to have a smaller wedding and kind of trying to naturally weed people out, having a non-Saturday day wedding can help with that. Now, a non-Saturday wedding, can just in general be really fun. It can be the perfect option for you, just depending on what you're doing. And there are, as we said, tons of good reasons, to have one. But you also, might not have a choice. With everything going on with the fight, given COVID, and, all those dates just being taken, you might have to consider a non-Saturday date. And by the way, if you don't know what the fight is, you're definitely going to want to check out a recent video we did on that, and make sure you hit subscribe so you get access to all of our new videos. But if you're in this situation, if you don't have a choice, if it's not a matter of, oh, would I like a non-Saturday wedding? It's more a matter of, well, I don't have a choice. There are no Saturdays left. Don't despair. Non-Saturday dates can really be wonderful, as we've said. And you just want to keep these things in mind as you're planning what we talked about in terms of timing, traffic, and guest attendance, so that you can plan for it. And then, you'll be golden. A non-Saturday wedding is a lot of fun, and you can have a lot of fun with it too. So don't be too bummed. You can certainly make it work and make it a good time. Okay? Now, I want to end this video with a question, and the question is this: are you considering a non-Saturday wedding? And if so, what day are you thinking? Let me know in a comment below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please like it, give us some thumbs up. You can check out our other videos for even more wedding planning tips, and please hit subscribe so you can get access to all the new ones. And if you're looking for help through the entire wedding planning process, please check out Passport to Joy. You can find all the links below because you deserve to enjoy your engagement no matter what your budget is. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.